Hello, it's Thursday. On Tuesday when I usually record these, I knew I didn't have the time. And then yesterday, I don't know what happened. And then in the evening, I'm suddenly like, oh my God. But it's Thursday morning, I'm here now. Something that I want to talk about this week is, I don't know if this sounds strange, but I realized like I have some kind of inability to experience joy. I mean, like every morning when I wake up, I'm kind of like, I have calibrated myself in a way that when I wake up in the morning, I don't feel joy or excitement. And I realized I don't like that. And it was weird because actually this morning, I started to sing this really stupid old children's TV show theme song. And actually it made me feel better. And I know enough about like our a human's like psychophysiological kind of existence, that this kind of like reprogramming is possible and kind of what you need to do. But anyway, so it's strange that I constantly kind of like catch myself being like worried and anxious and kind of going back to shame and guilt. And for me, guilt and shame are kind of same, because for me, feeling guilt, I did something wrong, returns me to my like safe, familiar place, which is shame. So that's kind of that's my kind of safe place, which is ridiculous. And I'm finding myself back there and becoming very, very conscious about like, why am I not excited and joyful? Because I am. I don't want to even say like I should, because I am. Like whenever I stop to think about, actually there's so much to be grateful for and excited for. But also I know that excitement and anxiety are kind of physiologically the same thing in your body. But anyway, I don't know, maybe somebody can relate or recognizes the same thing. But it's interesting, and I think that relates to the fact that the album is coming out. Actually, this Friday is going to be 6 weeks, and this Friday, I think, so tomorrow, I think I'm going to kind of announce it, or this weekend, like, okay, now we're going to start like counting, like a countdown or something. And that means, so the fact that the album is coming out and it's been such a long time, and maybe the inability to feel joy or excitement, and instead of feeling just like nervous and anxious and kind of shameful and guilty and whatnot, kind of relates to the fact that this long project is coming to end. And I know myself well enough that it's hard for me to focus on just getting every detail done, and instead like what needs to be done. There's a lot that needs to be done, and instead of doing that, I go into just worry, random stuff, just totally distracted and whatever, starting like new projects and new ideas and envisioning new things or whatever, and instead of like no, what actually needs to be done. than not avoiding that stuff. So actually, like I told my intern yesterday, she actually arrived in London now, which is fun and exciting. I told her yesterday that, okay, now you're just gonna be like my accountability buddy as we get these certain things just done that I've been kind of putting off for a while. But again, back to the point of like the album coming out and the whole process having been this reconfiguration of my life, like on my persona, because of it, it doesn't take this much time to write a bunch of songs. I mean, writing songs takes time, and recording those, and producing those, and putting those out takes time, but it doesn't take this long. But because this has been so much more like a metaphysical process, and in a way, I think this inability to feel joy and this kind of peace that everything is all right, is a good reminder that what is the final lesson that I still need to learn before I graduate. And it's actually funny because one of the songs, the Peace, energetically Peace, the second to last song on the album is called All Right. So kind of all right, misspelled, all right. And it talks about that, which is, yeah, I've said songs are my biggest teachers. Whenever I put a song out, it's actually like teaching me something. Like when we put Every Woman out, and it's about anger, and anger teaches us boundaries and self-respect. Like when I get angry, I'm like, no, like, and then actually I had to deal with a very, very difficult person, and I had to just say like, no. and it kind of came out of, like, it was like one project that related to the song, but nothing ever came of it, because I just had to say like, okay, no. But yeah, so the songs and the album have been my teachers, and I guess the realization that I should tap into joy and peace is my lesson now, instead of always going back to the so-called familiar hell. I don't know if this, like, we have a saying in Finnish that like there's the familiar hell, and we choose that over unknown heaven because we just wanna, what is familiar feels safe. Yeah. And also I recognize that as everything is coming closer, I'm like over controlling or pushing or trying to make things happen instead of having patience. For example, waiting to hear back from somebody. We are planning to organize this little event, and then I need to hear back from somebody, and yeah, and then at the same time, yeah, like not doing the things I kind of should be doing, like some admin stuff, and then I beat myself up about it. Although now that I say it out loud, I guess maybe I'm not the first one feeling like this. Yeah. And also maybe I'm a little bit afraid of what's coming after, because, you know, many years ago when the project started. It was the point like finish your master's degree of political science and then write an album and release it, and then kind of you'll see what happens next. And I know I'm not supposed to be controlling that. I am supposed to be just focusing on finishing the job. And obviously the process of finishing the job hasn't been smooth at all. I would have loved this whole thing to go in a very different way, but this is the way it went. And I guess, again, receiving the lessons that I'm supposed to and that I need to learn. I guess this is the way it had to go. Yeah. But maybe, and then I'll wrap up, I think I need to book myself a holiday, like reflecting on and really kind of cleansing the palate. Yeah, I need to do that. Anyway, good to be here. See you. Bye.